classify the data-driven analytical models in agriculture sector and how it can be used for improving the status of farmers, as farmers are our pillars of a nation. Any nation, they are the pillars. To create a suitable decision system and to create a yield rate, how the predictive analysis, how data science can help them to do that process. It's a main thing of thing, and this is a great learning for us to know what all things can be done with the data science in that. The FDP includes number of advanced topics regarding the role of data science in agriculture and the capacity building for best farming practices. And I am glad to say that all our guests are from NITs and, and they have their own startups, everything. So these people can help us to know about more on data science. I think that most of the people are doing the research in the data science, so this will also help them. And this LTP has been designed to be a practical with lectures, examples, and exercises to provide skills and encourage participation in exchange information. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to our beloved chairman, dynamic CEO, principal, HOD ma'am, and my fellow staff members for the continuous encouragement, motivation, and support. Without them, this would have become a nightmare. Finally, this is an opportunity time for me to declare the official. Hello. On the, finally, this is an opportunity time for me to declare the official opening of the ATAL FDP. Okay, I think that this will be 5 fruitful days of interesting and beneficial program. Now I ask our HOD ma'am to say a few words in the forum. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm greetings to you all on behalf of Pratisha Engineering College. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome the eminent guest speaker, Dr.V.Getthalakshmi, Director, Crop Management, Tamilnadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore. I would like to welcome and thank all the participants from various colleges in India, and also I extend my welcome to our institution faculty members. First and foremost, I wish to express our sincere gratitude to the chairman, Sri P. Rajarao, CEO, Pratyusha, advisor Sairam Basu, and principal Dr. P.L.N. Ramesh for their continuous support. The Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Pratisha Engineering College was established in the year 2001 with BE program and started ME Computer Science Engineering program in the year 2009. In 2015, the department has been recognized as a center for research by Anna University to offer PhD and MS by research programs in collaboration with Anna University. The department conducts periodical workshops and seminars in association with industries for the benefit of staff and students. It has become a well-established with its well-designed curriculum, highly sophisticated industry-associated laboratories like Cloud Computing Lab in collaboration with IBM, Center of Excellence, Center of Learning, technical clubs, value-added programs, and distinguished teaching staff providing students with professional knowledge. As a continuous outcome of the Department of R&D activities in this academic year, the Department of Computer Science and Engineering received fund as grant from AICTE for MODRAP to set up the data science lab and ATAL FDP on building decision-based support system for sustainable agriculture using data science. Data science is an extension of various data analysis fields such as data mining, statistics, predictive analysis, and many more. Some of the techniques utilized in data science encompasses machine learning, visualization, pattern recognition, probability model, data engineering, signal processing, etc. Today, many industries are using data science to make informed decisions that drive business and improve customer experiences. The data science in agriculture helping farmers to increase productivity, utilize resources more efficiently. Annually, all farmers assesses risk to make decisions when growing crops. Shared knowledge about these risks helps them improve their farms. When agriculture combines shared knowledge with data science, farmers are able to make better informed decisions for greater outcomes. Insight help farmers grow more, which ensure that we all have access to an affordable and plentiful food supply. Based on the FDP schedule with the eminent speaker, I strongly hope that this FDP will help you all to enrich the knowledge in data science through interaction with eminent personality from industries and academics, which will surely help us in the teaching and research area for the benefit of the students and society. As an event of this dimension cannot happen overnight, the wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed up by a team of very motivated and dedicated coordinators. I would like to thank all the coordinators who work with such determination and great sincerity for the success of this program. I wish that this FDP will be a successful one. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I now invite Prabha sir, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, to say a few words about ability test.
Thank you, ma'am. So it's a great honor for me to introduce our today's session guest speaker, Dr. V.Getthalakshmi. Madam Dr. V.Getthalakshmi, currently serving as a director in the Department of Crop Management in Tamilnadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore. She has done her Master of Science and her doctorate in agronomy with a professional experience of more than 25 plus years in agronomy, crop management, water management, crop simulation model, and hydrological models. As a credit to her research, she has published more than 70 research papers in international and national peer-reviewed journals. She has received 10 national awards, which includes Tamilnadu Best Young Women Scientist Award, National Award for Women's Development through the application of science and technology, recognized by the Department of Science and Technology for her contribution in the upliftment of farming community in tsunami-affected region of Nagapattinam district. She has guided 10 PhD scholars and 22 MSc research scholars. She is the member in the expert committee for science and technology for women under DST, Government of India. She is an expert committee member in the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Climate Change Division for screening, the proposal for financial support, and to advise in various scientific programs, activities, and implementation. She has completed 25 research projects funded by international and national organizations. And currently, she is involved in the development of science and technology innovation policy 2020 of Government of India. With this few lines of introduction, let us give a very warm welcome to Madam Dr. V.Getthalakshmi. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Geeta ma'am, you can start with your session.
So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I take this opportunity to thank everyone from the Pradiksha Engineering College. I'm really happy to share some of my experiences. Just a moment, I'm just trying to share my slides before I start. So please confirm whether you are able to see my slides.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are able to see.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah. Thank you. I just joined with your head of the department that nothing can happen in overnight, and I understand because Padma was actually closely coordinating with me for my presentation today. So I understand that nothing can happen overnight, and thank you for the same, and I'm happy to present my topic. So the topic of today for my presentation is data sciences in agriculture. Agriculture, it is a lifeline of India, because more than 70% of the farming community is 70% of the population is actually engaged either directly or indirectly in the farming. So when we just see the world population, it is expected to reach more than 9 billion in the mid-century time scale. And the FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, it predicts that the growth of the agriculture to be increased by 70%, which means if we are producing 1,000 tonnes, it has to be 1,700 tonnes. So 70% increase in food production is required for making the population self-sufficient with the limited available resources. On one hand, the land resources, which are very potentially agricultural grown land resources, are getting shrunk because of the non-agricultural utilization. Similarly, the water, we are actually, you people must be knowing, we are fighting for water from all the neighboring states, from Kerala, Karnataka, mainly Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Everywhere we have conflicts with water. So water is another limiting factor. Third one is fertilizers. Now the cost on fertilizers are escalating like anything, and the farmers are really finding it difficult to apply fertilizers. And we also encourage integrated nutrient management. So with these constraints, the agriculture production need to get increased by 70% in the near century. And then agriculture has evolved from, like it is as we have been doing agriculture age old from those times. So it has evolved from small scale labor intensive structure. So those times the farmers were using only family labors, and there was no pressure on producing more and more until 1920s. So they were just cultivating as they know. So it was small scale labor intensive stage of agriculture. Then it has transformed to industrial stage. Maybe from 1920 to till 2010, we were calling it as industrial stage, where we started introducing mechanization, mainly because of the labor constraint. We have been using lot of machines for farming. So that is called industrial stage. And now we have entered into the third stage, that is Act 3.0, we call it as, which involves making data-driven decisions using the data obtained from external sources. So now it is completely a different scenario we are facing, and we are going to experience a different kind of a setup for growing crops and so on. So the data-driven decision in agriculture, it provides higher productivity, it practices sustainability, and even helps to provide transparency to consumers wanting to know more about their food. I'll explain you a little more about this in my subsequent slides. For example, if some people are growing a particular commodity in one place, that need to go to another place where that commodity cannot be grown. One such example is maybe apples. We take apple every day, but we need to know from where we can get apple, and then how economically we can transport it to our place, everything. So that is where the openness or transparency lies. So coming to what is data science, especially in agriculture. Data science it is changing the way farmers and agricultural professionals for making decisions. Previously, as I was telling to you, in the olden days, they were just doing a simple family farming. Now we are doing something like subsistence farming and export oriented farming. So we need to make decisions which can save our input, and also it could be something like weather based farming kind of, response farming kind of. So for making decisions, these data sciences are very, very important. The modern technology has made it possible to collect the data. Maybe example is soil data, water availability, and then minerals from the farm soils, and also it could be stored in a centralized system, popularly known as Internet of Things. IoT refers to the idea of connecting interrelated devices, maybe satellites, weather stations, and many other such things, to the internet, so that they can share and exchange bigger volume of data independently. For example, if you want to process some satellite data of a particular location, it needs lot of storage space. So it actually has lot of information too. So that need to be stored, that much bigger volume of data need to be stored, and it should be usable to many people rather than just collecting and putting them on shelves. It has to be stored by many people. It has to be used by many people. For that only, these IoTs are playing a major role. Farmers can make smart farming decisions using the information throughout the production cycle, starting from the planting until harvesting, and also after harvesting until its marketability. So artificial intelligence and Internet of Things in combination with some of the aids like robotics, satellites, cloud computing, and machine learning are transfiguring agriculture and helping farmers foresee their near future. That means making the near future as a self-sufficient world. So this is what is in short about the usage of data science in agriculture. Coming to artificial intelligence, the most popular application of artificial intelligence in agriculture industry are in three major categories. One is in agriculture robotics, second one is predictive analysis, and third one is crop and soil monitoring. Computer vision and deep learning algorithms are used to process data captured by the donors as well as other external sources, and software-based technology to monitor the crop and soil health. So the machine learning models are used to track and predict various environmental impact on crop yield, such as weather changes. So this is in short about the artificial intelligence. I'll explain you a little bit more with some examples for your easy understanding. So as far as agriculture is concerned, what are the data types is very, very important. First one is about the soil data. You know, we have got a wide variety of soils. One example I could quote is, even in our agriculture university, we have something around 1,000 acres farm, wherein in one particular block itself, just a road separates red soil and black soil. So much of variation is there in the soil. So soil being the production base, we need to have in-depth soil analysis and the data to be archived. It is not that we look into only the surface data, but we need to know the layers, soil layer data, maybe up to 5 centimeter depth, what is the type of soil available, then from 5 to 30 centimeter, what is the type of changes that has occurred from the topsoil, because the root system spreads up to 1 meter at least for some of the deep rooted crops. So we need to know what is the soil layer properties, then only we will be able to precisely predict what is the requirement of fertilizer, water, and so on, and we need to give it to them at the right time. So soil is the major data type we look into. Then the second one is physiology of the crops. Maybe the crop, when you just seed it on the soil, it doesn't require much water or nutrients. But once if it is growing, then naturally, depending upon the physiology, means physiology is nothing but it is transformation from one growth stage to another growth stage, from seeding to seedling, seedling to vegetative, vegetative to flowering, flowering to grain formation to maturity, and maturity to harvest. So this kind of data, you just need it for better understanding of the requirement of the crop. Then next one is sensor data. It is nothing but the collection type I have indicated. Then the second one is genetics of the crop. Genetics means it is actually, if you just look into the genetics of the crop, even within one crop, each variety have a different genetic potential. For example, if you take a rice crop, the rice crop may be a short duration crop, or it may be a medium duration crop, or it may be a long duration crop. If you come to quality, the quality also differs. Maybe it is a bold type of rice, or it may be a slender grain. So all those things. So these are all the genetic characters. and each crop has got a potential called genetic potential. So that is the potential yield. You can get it when the atmosphere or the weather conditions are highly favorable during the growth season. So this is the genetic data type. Genomics. Genomics is nothing but recently this genomics facility has been created in few places. One, the national level very huge genomic facility is available in IARI, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, where each and every plant part is being analyzed and photographed, and then the properties are taken and stored in the computer on daily basis. For example, on every day, what is the kind of growth it is attaining? For example, today if the plant you are sowing, tomorrow it put forth 2 leaves, and the third day, what is the weight of the plant? For example, if it is 5 grams, how much is gone into the leaf, how much is gone into the stem, how much weight has gone into the root, growth is gone into the root, like that, and how much water has been taken, what is the status of the nutrient within the plant system in different parts, everything is being critically analyzed. That much voluminous data for each and every plant is stored in the computer for the future decisions and for making some of the simulation models. So that is where is the genomics. Then phenotypes. Phenotypes is nothing but it is a identical types. So we have got, as I said, even in one crop, we have got different phenotypes. So this data also are needed. So all these things are needed to develop the model. Model means simulation model, growth simulation models. The next type of data sets is weather data. You know, weather is one of the important parameter which decides everything. Okay, so if the plant need to photosynthesize, naturally we need to have very important things: sunlight, solar radiation. That is the foremost weather parameter that is required. Then the second thing is temperature. If the plant is exposed to cardinal temperature, right temperature, then only it will grow better and it will produce better. So temperature is required. The more important thing is water. So water is obtained through rainfall. So rainfall is also very important parameter. Next one is wind speed. Wind actually, it just takes the carbon dioxide and other things and then makes it to sit on the plant canopy. So that is where the wind is also important. Relative humidity, which decides the pest and disease, and then evapotranspiration, everything. So all these weather parameters are very important. Okay. So these data are being collected and stored in a big voluminous space, and it's being processed and used for giving weather forecast as well as predicting the climate. So there is a huge difference between weather and climate. Weather is just what is happening at present, whereas climate is, it is the historical data. It is the history, or it is what has happened over the past 20-30 years of time period is called climate data. So this weather and climate are very important for choice of the crop as well as for cropping decisions. So for that we are making models and we are using that data sets. Next one is image data from machinery as well as from remote sensing. I'll explain you little later about this image data. We have got image processing, and now it is order of the day. Image processing is one of the important thing which is happening in agriculture sector to take large scale spatial data as well as for the precision farming practices. So these are all some of the data types which are very well recognized and used by the agriculture community. Okay, there are some generalized constraints available. One is the individual constraint. What happens is some people, they collect the data, but they do not share the data. So that becomes one of the constraint. Second one is organizational constraint, where the individual may be ready, but the organization policy will not support for sharing the data. Okay, so like that, we have got group constraint, we have got industry and market constraint, social constraint, technological constraint. Sometimes I just have not added, sometimes safety and security constraints of the nation. So all those constraints are available in sharing the data. Definitely, we have to have the data sharing policy. Accordingly, we need to share the data. So let's go something like some examples of this data usage, data archiving, and so on. So coming to weather forecasting. So first of all, I would like to give you information. How do we collect the weather data? So the weather data is very, very important. Let's just take, if we take Tamil Nadu, it is, if you want to get the Tamil Nadu average annual rainfall. So how do you get it? It is not that in one place, if you collect the data, you will be right. Okay, because we have got different agroclimatic zones and we have got different systems. Okay, within Tamil Nadu, we have got 7 agroclimatic zones. One is called high rainfall zone, which is in the Kanyakumari district. So there they get on an average more than 3000 millimeters per annum. Okay, whereas we have got very dry districts, southern districts are very dry, and some of the western part of Tamil Nadu is also very dry, where you get hardly 600 millimeters per annum as a average rainfall. So you cannot just generalize. So what you have to do, you have to make as much observation as possible. So previously we have been using just the manual observatories. So there were something around 35-40 manual observatories were there. So we have been depending on those observatories. But rainfall is such a varying parameter. What is happening is, maybe in here it will be heavily raining. After 1 kilometer, there will not be a drop of rain at all. So that is the kind of spatial variability occurring as far as rainfall is concerned. So the government of Tamil Nadu, what has done is, they have supported through RKVY project to Tamil Nadu Agricultural University to keep the automatic weather stations throughout Tamil Nadu. So in those from those automatic weather stations, the data are being collected. You may wonder, okay, what is the time interval between each data gathering? So it is set for 15 minutes. Once in 15 minutes, all the data, 10 weather parameters are being collected, starting from solar radiation, temperature, wind speed, wind direction, relative humidity, atmospheric pressure, and many other parameters. All those parameters are collected and it is being archived. Once it is collected, it is actually transmitted to the central server located in Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, where the data is being processed. For every 1 hour, the data is being uploaded into the internet. All the 385 weather station data are being uploaded. So this kind of data processing and then archiving and retrieving is very, very important. Okay, so this is about the weather. So a collection of data. Coming to the weather forecasting. So as far as forecasting is concerned, we have got different time scales. Okay, so starting from short range forecast, medium range forecast, and then long range or seasonal forecast, and then we are looking into climatic information as well. So how do we do this short range forecast? Short range forecast, normally we do it with synaptic changes. Synaptic changes means, you must be knowing, all the airports, they have got observatories where once in 3 hours the weather data are being recorded. Okay, so what they do is, as soon as the weather data are recorded, it will be sent to the New Delhi office, India Meteorological Department office, which is the apex body for anything related to climate and weather. So there they just have the India map, and then they draw the ISO lines. You know what is ISO lines? It is the line, ISO line, isotherm. It is the temperature where on those line, it's an imaginary line, we draw it on the map. Okay, on those line, the line crossing all the places will have the same temperature. Okay. Similarly, mostly the pressure is taken care of. If you just look into the weather maps in the newspaper and all, you can just see if the cyclonic wind is coming, then naturally we will be able to know only from that synoptic chart. Okay. So for those information, we are trying to use the observed data sets, and we are trying to put it on the map to find out whether there is going to be any low pressure system formed in the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea or from the Indian Ocean side. How is it going to move? Whether it is going to cross it in Tamil Nadu or it is going to go to Andhra Pradesh or Orissa. All those things are being modeled using that data. Okay. Then the second one is medium range weather forecasting. In the medium range weather forecasting, we actually, I put a figure over here. This is the atmospheric layers. Okay, so this is the ground level. From the ground level, it is the millibar pressure. So in the ground level, the air density is so high, so the pressure is high. Then once it is going upper and upper, the density goes down, so the pressure also goes down. So what we do is we divide the entire atmosphere into different layers, and we solve all the thermodynamical equations and then integrate all those equations to tell whether it is going to rain in the next 2 days, or if it is going to be dry weather, or we are going to have some extreme weather events, whether there is going to be a cloud burst. All those things are being predicted by this method. Okay, so I'll just give a pass. Are you able to follow it up with me? Can any one of you answer?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Don't mind stopping me if you are not able to follow it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So the next type of data collection technology is called radar technology. You know, like what our government of India has done is along the coastline, you know, we have got something around, even Tamil Nadu alone has got more than 1,000 kilometers of coastline. Like that, if we take entire India, we have got close to 3,000 kilometers of coastline. So what government of India has done is they have got radars along the coastline. One radar can scan the atmosphere at a radius of something around 200 to 250 kilometer radius. Okay, so what it does is this radar, it just sends some kind of waves, say for example infrared waves or microwaves. It sends it. When it interacts with the cloud, it can just make a map of where the cloud is. Okay, based on the GPS location, it can map where the cloud is, what is the cloud temperature, how much water is there in the cloud. All those things could be mapped, and then this actually gives a very good indication whether we are going to get rain in a particular location. So using that radar technology, we have made so much of advancement on giving the prediction, especially about the rainfall. That's how previously people used to joke on the weather forecasters. They will say, if they predict rainfall, you can coolly forget your umbrella at home and then you can go out. But gone are those days. Now the precise information are given. You yourself could feel from the forecast information and the realization, isn't it? So the radar technology is one of the technology which is very well recognized and then used by the meteorological community for giving the forecast information. Okay, so these are all some of the things. Next one is farm database. Okay, we get all those things, but it has to be, the end user is the farmers. Though we have got so many other people, because I'm talking about the agriculture sector, I'm just saying about the farm database. So farm database means how we have to have a kind of a GIS platform, and we need to just map it out. Okay, these are all the roads, these are all the rivers, these are all the field. And then if you just zoom in, you can just go to the level of individual farmers field. So in that farmers field, you need to have a farm database. How much is irrigated, how much is the crop grown under different conditions, and if you want to take just the paddy growing area, where are those areas located? If you want to just concentrate on the dry lands, where are the dry lands located? And sometime, if you maybe in Tiruvallur, you may have tanks, system tanks. So if there is one tank, how much water is available in that tank and how much area is being irrigated by using that tank. So all those things you need to know. That is what is called as farm database. So that is also being archived. Next one is agro advisory. So using all those weather forecast information, we prepare agro advisory and communicate it to the farmers. So this is where the big data storage and then the analysis and then the sending it to the user community lies. So the agro advisory, it is actually, we are trying to give a seamless agro advisory. So starting from the seasonal level for maybe starting of the southwest monsoon and the northeast monsoon, we used to give the forecast to the farming community. We are now giving it at the district scale, but we are now trying to give it at the block level. So we just tell them this season is going to unfold as a normal season or deficit season, rainfall season, or it is a excess rainfall season. So how the farmers can use it. So if we are giving a forecast of a deficit rainfall season, they have to definitely take caution to select some of the crops which are requiring less water. Okay, maybe the farmer can also do it another way, land allocation. If a farmer is having 10 acres of land, instead of growing all the 10 acres of land with high water requiring crop like paddy or sugarcane, what he can do is he can just limit his area to only 2 acres and he can go for some of the less water requiring crops like maize or groundnut or sorghum or so on. Okay, so this is how land allocation could be done using the seasonal rainfall prediction. And then coming to medium range weather forecast, what he can do is, say if the farmer is growing a crop, the last 3 days, 4 days, it was dry and he need to irrigate it. Okay. So he need to definitely look into the weather forecast information and see whether there is a possibility for him to get rainfall in the next day or in 2 days time. If so, he can postpone the irrigation, save the water, and then he can use it for some critical stages. Okay, or if he is expecting still dry weather, he need to plan for his irrigation. So this is one way of application. The second way of application is maybe the plant protection. So his crop is affected with a lot of sucking pests like thrips or aphids, all those things. If that be the case, what he has to do is he has to again look into the forecast information. If it is going to be in 2 days, a good rainfall is expected, he don't have to spray plant protection chemicals. Even if he spray plant protection chemicals, that is going to be a wasteful exercise. So what he has to do is, if there is going to be a rainfall, naturally the rainfall intensity itself will help in reducing the pest load. The pest will get washed up or it will get killed, and more than 60-70% of the pest population will die. So in the remaining, it is manageable. So for all those things, for input saving, cost saving, and also environmental protection, these advisories are used. And coming to another thing is, like even for harvesting, all those things, these advisories could be used. So there is a big advancement made in the agro advisory in the recent time, because previously we used to give it as a bulk advisory. Maybe for the western agroclimatic zone, this is the expected weather, and for paddy crop you do this, for mango crop you do this, like that we used to give. But currently we have developed an algorithm using artificial neural network and also using the big data collected. We are just giving customized agro advisory to each and every farmer. Within the village, one farmer may be cultivating paddy, another farmer may be cultivating banana, another farmer may be cultivating mango. So if we give generalized advisory, most of the advisory is not useful for the farming community. So we just register with them, and depending upon the weather forecast, to the particular farmer, the farmer who grows paddy, he gets information only about paddy. like that the advancement has been made. For that we have used a lot of data analysis, artificial intelligence, and also IoT. So this is where the practical success has come, and we have put it on the web, so you people can even experience that. Okay, so this is about the weather related information. Do you have any queries on this? I just would like to go for the next, before going for the next topic, I would like to give you a chance.
Hello, if you have any queries, please just ask. You can unmute your mic and go.
Or else you can
Or you
post in the
people
chat
can
box.
note it down.
Or otherwise, you can post it in the chat
Yeah,
box.
somebody can post the questions from the chat box. Later I can answer to it and I can proceed with my presentation.
Yes, ma'am. You can proceed the
Yeah.
presentation, and I'll ask them to post in the
Okay.
chat box. Elaborate.
Okay, so the next one is climate change studies. Now everyone is feeling the heat of changing climate, isn't it? So I'm sure all of you must be. This has become a buzzword, isn't it? The climate change has become a buzzword, and a lot of people are talking about the climate change. Even for any extreme event that is happening, people are attaching to that as a climate change impact. Okay, so what I wanted to say here is we have now developed models using the past data. We try to use global circulation models, which we call it as prominently GCMs, or hot water, or we call it as regional climate models. So we use those models and we try to project what the changes are going to happen from the current climate to the future climate. So these changes are being assessed for different RCP scenarios. RCP scenarios means it is representative concentration pathways. Okay, so when the greenhouse gas amount in the atmosphere is lower, very low, it is RCP 2.6, or if it is very high, it is RCP 8.5. So in between we have RCP 4.5, RCP 6, and RCP 8.5. So not that all the countries will fall under same RCP. So as far as India is concerned, we believe that RCP 4.5 will be our future. So we try to project the changes in the climate for the RCP 4.5 scenario. Okay, once we have projected, what we can do, we can do the impact assessment. So today the temperature is like this. If we expect 1.5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature around 2050, how the crops would behave for the changing climatic condition. What will happen is, I can give you one example. If the crops are going to be put under warmer climate, naturally it will require more water to produce the same amount of food grain. Okay, so I can give you an example of paddy. Now we need 1200 millimeters of water to complete its life cycle, whereas in the future warmer climate it might require 1500 millimeters of water. Okay, so this is how the water requirement is going to change. Already we are stressed for water, so we have to find some technologies for reducing the water requirement or reducing the water loss. That is what is called as adaptation. Okay, so we have to develop adaptation technologies. Coming to mitigation, mitigation is nothing but increased evolution of greenhouse gases. For example, I will take the same example of paddy. Paddy, it is grown under waterlogged condition. Most of you must be knowing Tiruvallur, where a lot of paddy crops are available. I'm sure you people must have seen paddy crop. So the paddy is cultivated under the submerged condition. When the paddy is cultivated under submerged condition, automatically lot of methane is generated because of non-availability of oxygen below water. So lot of methane is generated and it is given out into the atmosphere. So that is one of the reason for global warming and changing climatic conditions. So we need to find some technologies to reduce the methane emission from the paddy field. So that is where it is called as mitigation. Okay, so all these things, all the data, each and every location, all the data are being collected and archived through different means, maybe through individual means or through satellites or through drones and so on. And we collect the data, we archive it, we analyze it, and we use it for decision making. So this is what is simple about climate change studies. If you have any queries, I will be able to answer in the later, at the end of my lecture. Okay, so this is interactive information dissemination system. So it is pull and push based system. Data can be transmitted through voice or text or images and videos from both the end, either from farmers to expert and back. Let's say I'm just giving an information to the farmer. How will I know whether it was useful to him, whether he has used it, has it contributed towards input saving, all those things. So we have to always have feedback mechanism. So that is also inbuilt in the case of interactive information dissemination system. So it could be multi-platform. It could be either web-based or mobile-based or IVRS based. Okay, and it could be multilingual because most of the things are given in English. Now it could be Hindi. Now we have developed it in Tamil, not only Hindi, Telugu, but now for Tamilnadu people, we have developed it in Tamil. Okay, it could be personalized. As I said, for an individual farmer, whatever is required, that is given to the farming community. That is what is called as interactive information dissemination system. So this we have developed very well for the farmers of Tamil Nadu, and it is now being operationalized. Okay, I'm coming to a different topic, which is called precision agriculture. So it is actually precisely how much fertilizer is required, how much seed is required. It is not a blanket application kind of thing. On the field, you just throw fertilizer, not like that. So I was actually working with some of the Israeli scientists where what happens is Israel is one of the country where it's completely under the desert situation. But if you visit Israel, you will never think that it is in the midst of the desert. So what they do is they do complete precision agriculture. Okay, I just have visited one of the cut flower industry. So they are the people who supply complete Middle East requirement of cut flower is made from Israel. So what they do is everything is artificial soil. They have pot and then they fill it with artificial soil. They plant rose plants and other cut flowers, and every pot will have a chip inserted inside, and all the chips are connected to a computer. Okay, they have programmed it in such a way, once the water so the optimum water holding capacity of that media is between 60% and 80%. Okay, if it is more than 80%, the plant will suffer due to want of oxygen in the root zone. If it is less than 60%, the plant will again suffer. It has to put forth more energy to draw the water which is bound to the soil. So what they do is they just planted a chip inside. The chip will tell what is the content of water in the soil. Once the content goes just below 60%, automatically the pot get irrigated, and then it will irrigate until it reaches the 80% water holding capacity. Then it will stop. Everything is automated. So individual pot is taken care of. So in that, again, they used to give how much ever is the nutrient required, that will be given to the plant. So this is what is called precision agriculture. Precisely how much is required, that is given. So there is no wastage, there is a less cost, but at the same time the productivity is increased. So that is where is the precision agriculture, where lot of data is needed to decide what is the level to be kept for the minimum and maximum. So all those things could be done only through the database management, data analysis, and then data interpretation. Next one is robotic agriculture. Robotic agriculture, again, it is, for example, if they want to apply chemical in an orchard, they just see the central picture. So it is a manless tractor. There is no driver for the tractor. The tractor just goes, it takes the spray volume and just it applies chemical wherever there is a problem. again mechanical weeding is done in the first picture. Here mechanical weeding is done. So for all those things, the robotics in agriculture is done. This is mainly done only based on the data collection, interpretation. For deciding the spray volume, for deciding where to spray everything, we need to have lot of base data and then analysis of the data, and you need to program it with the robotic machine. If you find this, you just do this one. For example, the best example is harvesting of horticultural crops which are high. So it is very difficult for the people to climb and then harvest, especially citrus, apple, mango, all those things. So based on the color, it recognizes the color, it recognizes the quality, and then it just picks it and brings it in a very qualitative form. Otherwise, if the people pluck it, they will throw it from the top of the tree and it will fall down and it will get damaged. But this will very precisely pick it and transport it to a very safe way so that the damages are avoided. So this is where the robotics in agriculture is being practiced. So very importantly, the recent advancement is the drones in agriculture with artificial intelligence. The drone usage is now too much. You must be knowing each and every wedding halls also drones are just flying and taking photographs. The same way, but we use some artificial intelligence. It helps users to improve their crop yield and reduces the cost. So here, the artificial intelligence and aerial technology, this can monitor the crop health. Okay, so it gives a very good bird's eye view. This actually would expose intending issues of the farms such as irrigation problem, soil variation, as well as pest and fungal infestation. You can think of like our Indian farms are very small. Okay, our Indian farms, if you just see the average farm holding size is less than 1 hectare. That means 2 to 2.5 acres. Whereas if you just think in abroad, like countries, developed countries like Australia or like Sweden, all those places, the average size of the farm itself is 3,000 to 4,000 acres, where it has to be managed by just a couple of husband and wife. Okay, so where they cannot just go and see each and every place and so on. So here the drones, what they do is they just will be able to scan the entire farm very frequently to find out what are the problems, where the deficiency of water is there, so which field to be irrigated. All those things are done precisely. And somewhere, if there is a pest and disease infestation like fungal infestation, the drone cameras, it could be very well sensed. So this is the area where there is an infestation of pest or disease. So precisely in that place, with the drone's help itself, we can spray the insecticide or fungicide. So these are all some of the advancements that has happened over the drone. So simply if we just look into the application of drone for monitoring the crop and how much crop volume is there, what is the vigor of the crop inventory within that 3,000 acres of farm, where which crop is there, that is called crop inventory. Then generation of prescription maps we can generate. So this is where you need to irrigate today, this is where you need to give some pesticide today. So all those things, so generation of prescription of maps, and then precision spraying, all those things, and inspection of farm infrastructure. So farm infrastructure is where the well is there, where the sheds are there, all those infrastructure is also done. High resolution mapping and surveying of individual field, crop damage assessment and insurance claim, all those things could be done using this drones. So the drones have become a very potential information gatherer. I can give you one example also where we helped the government of Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University helped the government of Tamil Nadu. 2 years back, we had Kaja cyclone. Okay, Kaja cyclone, it devastated the Kaveri Delta zone, especially the Pattukotai, all those places where something like lakhs and lakhs of coconut trees have been uprooted. You know, the cyclone happened during something around evening to night hours. So what happened was, within 1 day, the recorded wind speed was something 240 kilometers in a day. So the intensive cyclonic time was something around 2 hours or so. During that time, the wind speed was something around 160 to 170 kilometers per hour. So that was actually the intensity of wind speed. So the farmers immediately, the government of Tamil Nadu wanted to help the farmers in assessing the damage and giving some compensation, and also giving some planting material to replant all those things. So our drones have been taken to that affected area, and then we did a precise estimation and gave it to the government of Tamil Nadu for insurance claims and so on. So drone technology is becoming too much used in the agriculture sector. Next one is remote sensing. This is again of recent usage. Though we have got a long history of remote sensing, the usage in the field of agriculture is for the past 2-3 decades only, especially identification of crops and their progress. Okay, so we can find out, okay, now the government of India is asking how much area is under rice. So with one shot of remote sensing, people are able to identify these are all the areas where rice crops are grown. So that means, so this is the area under rice. Then next question government asks, okay, what is the progress of sowing? So the crop is in which stage? Maybe June first week, if they see it is only just planted few acres. June second week, if they just take an aerial photograph through the remote sensing, they could say thousands of acres have been progressed with planting. Then the third week, fourth week, complete planting would have been done. So the progress of planting and all those things could be assessed through the remote sensing. Next one is crop health assessment through NDVI and also vegetation index. These are the indices used for finding out the crop health index, whether the crop is healthy or crop is with stress like drought, or the crop is with pest and disease infestation. All those things could be assessed using this remote sensing. So determination of their readiness for harvest. We can also identify which area is going to be harvested, how much produce is will be expected from that harvest. All those things could be assessed through this remote sensing. So this kind of data, it's a big data, so that could be archived and then retrieved and then used. So this is how the remote sensing is being used. So in my first slide itself, I was saying something about imaging technology. So this imaging technology is another important thing, especially it is used in kind of a, with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. It is used in disease detection. Lot of disease detection things are done using that. So for that, it cannot be done just like that. So you need to have lot of image collection. So the image is collected and it is stored. It is not just like an image, it is stored. It is stored in the form of data sets. Then after that, data labeling is done, and the labeled data is being split into different kind of things. So if it is like this, it is disease free. If this is like this, it is diseased. Like that, intensity of diseases, all those things are done. Then after that, we need to train the data set, validate the data set, test the data set, whether it is going to perform perfectly. So on that, we have to do the training, and then we have to perform evaluation. Finally, it is used for disease detection. So this imaging technology is now not only for disease detection, but it is also used for real-time identification of specific information like requirement of water, fertilizer, pesticides, and so on. So this is a very good advancement made, and it is being used largely in the field of agriculture. So the next one is crop yield forecast and the insurance. So this is very, very important. The insurance is really, it is becoming a hectic and Herculean task, even in any part of the thing. Okay, so this is the kind of, I've just given November, December, Jan, Feb and March, the image taken for crop yield forecasting. So this is actually, it looks pictorial, but this each and every pixel has lot of data that is being processed, and then it is being collected and used by the people for processing the crop insurance. So we have got a program called FASL program, that is forecasting agriculture yield using space, agrometeorology and land-based observation. This program is in operation with us, and we are doing a lot of work and helping the government of Tamil Nadu as well as government of India in predicting the crop yield estimates and also in finalizing the crop insurance status. Not only that, we can do the drought monitoring. First, we have a larger area, then we focus to an area where the drought is prevailing, and then we further focus to the area where individual field are being monitored and we are settling some of the issues. So this is about the crop yield forecast. So cloud computing, again, farmers data, e-commerce, crop insurance, everything is done through cloud computing. This is by which we can access, share all those information. So instead of storing all the data into one place, we just keep it in the cloud computers so that this could be used by many people for decision making. So some of the examples, so in Egypt, from the Nile River, the farmers are taking water from the Nile River and using it for agriculture, and use through the advanced sprinklers and so on by using the all these technologies. So this is one of the best example. Second one is mobile apps. For example, FarmGaze is one of the mobile app where the farmers manage their grass more effectively, and they are trying to rationalize the feed for livestock so that they are actually minting money like anything. Then modern transportation technology, as I was just telling to you, the producers may be produced in one place, but that may have to be taken to other place, and that actually is being done using the modern transport technology. So just I've given few examples of Africa and Dubai, just you can see that. Okay, this is my last slide. So improvements in Indian agriculture. So what we have done is, using all those data sets and all those technologies, we have gone into smart farm technology, and we have put that into M-Kisan. M-Kisan is the portal where the farmers can take all the related data. One example I can give is, if a farmer is growing citrus and the citrus plant is affected with some symptom, like it's a patchy or it's a wrinkled kind of a thing, then immediately the farmer can open that M-Kisan portal, and he can click the citrus crop, and he can click the problems, and he can just match his sample, and he can find out whether with the photograph, comparing with the photograph available in the M-Kisan, he can find out whether this is affected by pest or disease or nutritional disorder. Okay, then he can just take appropriate measures. It is not only M-Kisan, we have got Agritech portal, TNAU Agritech portal is also there, where crores and crores of pictures are available, and the data has been stored along with the solutions so that farmers could easily understand. Okay, and then Niti Aayog, they have collaborated with IBM, and they have also made all the states information, they have coordinated and kept it at the national level. So with that, we do the predictive analysis, and then we use also satellite imagery. So this is what is the improvements made in Indian agriculture through the use of database and the data technology. I think I will stop here, and I will look for some of your queries so that I can answer to it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay. Participants, if you have any queries, please do. Bhavana, ma'am, now you can go with your query.
Hello.
Yes.
Madam, I am Vikas Phate. I am lecturing in electronics from Government Polytechnic, Maharashtra Group. My
Okay.
query is for yield estimation. What kind of features I have to look for? Because
Sorry, your
every
voice is breaking. Can you just
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir. Vikas, sir, your voice is breaking.
yeah. My question is, madam, for yield estimation, what kind of features we should go for? Because every crop is having some different features on which the yield or its productivity will depend. To make some generalized model, what kind of features should I go for?
Okay, great. So that's a great question. For yield estimation, as I said, we are using FUSL program. So first we use the crop simulation model, dynamic crop simulation model we are using. So in the dynamic crop simulation model, each and every crop has a model. Maybe you can use the DSAT model, or you can use the APSIM model, or you can use InfoCrop model. These crops, they have got facility to dynamically simulate the growth of the crop. For example, the day one is this is the growth of the crop. Day two, this is the one, and at this particular time, it put forth flower and so on. Using that dynamic crop simulation model, we assess the per hectare productivity. Okay. Then after that, we use the sampling based information for the crop acre estimate. Okay. So then we combine this, and then finally we come to a district level forecast, and then again combine this, and then we come to a state level estimate. We send it to the government. Hope I answered your question. If you have more queries on that, please let me know. I can explain it further.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. It's very informative, and for core computer science students, because we don't know much about the agriculture field and their rules and regulations and other internal aspects. So for many of the students are focusing on agri in smart farming, smart agriculture, and their image processing in disease prediction in agriculture. So there are many are proposing the same kind of IoT based agriculture. But can you tell me which kind of areas will the students can really contribute to agriculture field? Because
Okay.
many projects they are repeating again and again with the same concept. They are
Right.
not focusing on other domains and user-friendly agriculture. Farmers, how we can educate the farmers to access, easy access, user-friendliness, that they are not focusing. So can
Right.
you suggest some few other research areas where we can, other core people, core CS people can contribute?
Okay, great. So first thing what you need to do is, if you have decided to work on agriculture area, you please be in touch with the agriculture specialist or agriculture scientist. Different crops has got different problems, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
maybe some of the all are important. Every problem is important. Now even we people are encouraging interdisciplinary as well as interinstitutional collaborations. We are actually welcoming, and because we have the expertise in agriculture and you have the expertise in computer field, so together we can sit and discuss and find out these are the problems, and we can prioritize the problems and we can work on it. So this image processing is one of the thing wherein the weed control could be one of the area. Okay, because the crop and weed, though both are grown in the same location. Okay, variable
Yeah.
rate of applicator. So we can combine all those things. Okay, through image processing, the robotics can find out which are the weeds, and it can delineate the weedy patches, and then through the variable rate applicator, the herbicide could be applied only onto the weeds and not onto the crops. So those things
Yes.
are actually in the developing stage. So you people can concentrate on that. Similarly, maybe some of the nutrient disorders are found. So on those patches alone, because no, in the field it is not uniform. Maybe some calcareous patch will be there, maybe some other patch will be there. So in the calcareous patch, maybe ferrous deficiency will be there. So in those areas we need to apply, only in those areas we need to apply remedial measures. So for those things we can do it. So this is one area. The second area is the weather predictions and so on. So it is always an evolving science. So we have done a lot of advancement. So you people can write codes for that. And even in the climate change, you people can write codes, and then you can try to integrate those codes with the baseline data and try to find out whether this is doing well and so on. So a lot of avenues are there. Only thing, those who are interested, they can just touch base with some of the agriculture scientists, and then they can discuss and list a lot of problems, and then prioritize which one to work, which is feasible to work. That will be the best way, ma.
Yeah, yes. So, yeah, thank you, ma'am. And one more thing, can you suggest how the big data analysis can be used in agriculture field, where we can focus, in which particular area of they need big data analysis in agriculture?
I mean, we've got lot of areas, including soil, including weather, even the farm database, farmers database. All those things are under the big data analysis. So we have got something like 80 lakh farmers. So if you could tackle at least a district, and then you do the farm database, and then like what are the crops they are growing, what technology adoption is there, and how best they can introduce all those things. If you do it, that will be a big contribution from your end.
Yeah, is there any copyright issues if you access the available database available in the TNAU or other AER
No,
websites?
when once it is open in the public domain, you are free to take it and use it. But you please acknowledge. You please acknowledge from where you gather the data.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Abhishek sir, Abhishek sir, you can go with the questions. Hello. Sir, Abhishek sir asked a question that can we please suggest some cloud infrastructure for agriculture data analytics?
Cloud infrastructure, you people are the better people to tell me about the cloud infrastructure and all. I'm an agriculture scientist and you people are computer people, right? So
Yes, sir.
but there are paid cloud. We in agriculture university, we are paid for a cloud space, and we are using it. There are different sources available. Maybe you people have to discuss with the hardcore computer, maybe with IBM or some other. You are near to Chennai. You people can go sit with the computer people, and then you can decide on it. I'm not an expert on that.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
another thing. Actually, in our college, we have a SRR station now. Nivesh
So
station
even if
is
you have more questions, you can send it to me to my email. I'll be happy
yes,
to
sir.
answer for it in due course.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll give you an email as a chat box.
A question from
Any other
Ms.
question?
Bhavana Singh. Which algorithm used for agro advisory?
Okay, in agro advisory preparation, what we have done is we have first developed the weather scenarios. Okay, weather we have got a long historical data. We just clubbed those historical data. One scenario is maybe the temperature is +2 degree more than average, and then the wind speed is normal, and the relative humidity is lesser by 10%, and there is no rainfall. This is one weather scenario. It is weather scenario means it is package of weather. Okay, so like that we have got we had something around 250 weather scenarios, and then we have shortlisted and we have taken only 60-70 most prominent weather scenarios. This is one type. Then the second thing what we have done is we have taken the crop, and then we have segregated into different growth stages, as I said, like sowing phase, and then the early vegetative, peak vegetative, flowering, and grain filling, and so on. So for each stage the requirement of weather is different. So we have taken those stages, we have coupled that, and we tried to use that, and we developed the agro advisory for each of the weather scenario, for each of the stage of the crop. We used artificial intelligence to pick the right weather advisory for a particular weather scenario and for a particular stage of the crop, and it is
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Yeah. This is Dr. Rajkumar. I would like to thank you for this wonderful session, ma'am, because so many things we never knew before, especially in the agriculture. So thank you so much. We learned so many things in the session. I would like to thank Padma Priya ma'am also for arranging this wonderful session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Okay, ma'am. Shankar, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I think Geeta ma'am has left due to some network issue.
Yeah, due to some network issue, I think she has left. We'll wait whether she's joining. Hello. Uh, Participants, I think this session was very useful to you people. We have learned more. Actually, many of them are going with research with data science, and we are just going with weather, like only. But ma'am has declared many other things, which all things you can do it, like you can do it even in soil, everything. So we have data. Everything is available in Google's data set. I have seen many data have been available there, and we can make use of it. I have just posted ma'am's ID also here. If you have any queries, no, please put forward the queries. Ma'am will be very happy to answer you. She's very this thing that polite, and she's very artistic that she has accepted her thing and addressed us. And we'll wait for the ma'am thing. I'll just call ma'am in 1 minute. Kindly bear with it. Ma'am is having some network issues, I think. She'll be joining shortly. If you have any questions, please have that. You can post it in our thing also. At 11 o'clock, we will be telecasting the YouTube link via this Google Meet. So you can see the participants can go with the common inauguration, which has been arranged by the AICT. And AICT chairman and Minister of Science will be joining it and presiding over it. And today, in the Pan India, they have been started 38 FDP sessions. Okay. So, data science is more with all the relevant topics they have started it. So, they have a common inauguration at 11 o'clock, and the YouTube link I have shared in the chat group also, and here also we'll be able to telecast it. Shankar sir, 11 o'clock, it's able to do it here, sir. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. 1 minute, 1 minute. Hello? So there is some network issue for Madam, I think so. So she's not able to join us. She's trying to do it out. She has conveyed a thanks to all the people, and I also conveyed your thanks to them. I think it was a very informative session, and we'll meet again at 11 o'clock for a common knowledge. You know? Am I audible, ma'am? Feedback link will be given. You have a common feedback. Everyday feedback link will be given in the after the end of the three sessions. The feedback link will be given to you, and you can post it in the group itself. Another thing, you have a common feedback which has to be given to the ACB. That will be in your login thing, and that you can give at the end of the after the fifth day thing you can give it. And for us, we will be posting it in, and attendance link will also will be posted to you at 12 o'clock. You can give it. Uh, Banapriya ma'am, I have answered your query, I think. Banapriya ma'am, are you there? Okay. I think I can end up the session now, and we'll go with the at 11 o'clock. We'll again meet for the common knowledge. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Shankar, we'll meet at 11 o'clock, Shankar. Hello.